Good evening. I would like to call to order the February 19th meeting of the Code Enforcement Review Board. Welcome to all in attendance, my fellow commissioners, township staff, and residents. Just a friendly reminder, please silence your electronic devices at this time. Julia, would you like to do a roll call, please?
Sure. Ms. Baldwin? Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Here.
Mr. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. Westfall?
Here. All right, at this time, would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The Code Enforcement Review Board was established to provide an impartial and fair platform for reviewing disputes related to vacant properties and rental registration within Colerain Township. CERB is a volunteer advisory board to the Colerain Township Board of Trustees. CERB's primary objective is to hear, consider testimony, and evidence presented by property owners and residents, interpret the township's resolutions related to vacant buildings and rental registration, and issue recommendations regarding these issues to the Board of Trustees. This process ensures property owners and residents have an opportunity to address any concerns and resolve any disputes regarding vacant properties and rental registration in a transparent and respectful manner. Our next item of business would be the presentation of minutes. Commissioner, present before you are the minutes from our previous meeting on January 15th. Do we have any comments or corrections? Okay. Hearing none, I would, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the January 15th, 2025 Code Enforcement Review Board minutes.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. The next item of business is citizens' address. We'd like to welcome the public to address the Code Enforcement Review Board with any concerns not listed on tonight's agenda. If you're here to speak about any of the properties on the agenda tonight, your comments will be heard during the public hearing for that property. Our practice is to allow each citizen 3 minutes to speak. We will not necessarily respond to your comments. Please be aware the views expressed by citizens during our citizens' address do not necessarily reflect the views or position of the Code Enforcement Review Board, nor are they guaranteed for accuracy. We do not vet, fact check, pre-approve, or review any commentary prior to the citizens' address. Is there anyone to speak tonight? Okay, hearing none, we will move on. Old business. The first case under old business is CERB 25-02. That's for 6710 Thompson Road. Nick, do you have a presentation?
Yeah, so CERB 2502 in regards to 6710 Thompson Road. The owner of record is Infinity Investments and Land Group. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT-24-72. Our first letter was sent in December 4th. Following that letter, the homeowner did reach out and requested a meeting in front of you guys. We had some miscommunication, so he wasn't able to be here for January, but I do believe he is here tonight. We do believe the house is vacant. There's, the grass hasn't been getting cut. There's debris, at least on the right side, possibly in the rear. There's a truck in the side yard that could qualify as a junk vehicle. Really, since it was reported, we just haven't seen any, real progress to the house. When you put the notice on the door, it looked pretty clear, through the front door that it wasn't in a condition that would qualify as livable. In your packet, you can see the information from the Hamilton County Auditor, from the LLC information from the Secretary of the State, the letter that was sent, all the letters sent, some of the emails back and forth, and then a picture from the date where we did, start the vacant process. And then in your other packet, there's some pictures of the home from this week. I believe they were taken yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is our, recommendation that the house is vacant and qualifying a registration.
Okay. Mr. Field, would you like to come talk to us about your property?
Yes, thank you.
State your name.
We need to turn on the microphone, please. Down at the bottom. There you go. Thank you.
And then can we also swear you in?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, we can do everyone at once, just for efficiency.
Okay.
Anyone who thinks they might testify tonight, can you just stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is true and accurate to the best of your information and belief?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could you give your name and address, please?
Sure. The address is 6710 Thompson Road. My name is Sean File, president of Infinity Investments and Land Group.
Okay.
We purchased the property last year from my mechanic. His mother passed away. It was unknown and who was going to be buying the property. It turned out that it was best for them that we would be able to purchase it. At this time, we're completing one property now in Cincinnati area, and I've got 4 other properties that are on the market, and we're getting pretty good action as far as interest level. It's not my interest to have the property vacant for any more than a few more months at the most. And at that time, it'll either be renovated if it needs additional renovations with permits, and then also put into the rental registration program or sold, or I would then either do something else with it, possibly live there, but I doubt that would be the case.
But it still qualifies at this point as vacant.
Currently, there's no occupants.
Okay.
The truck in the back of the property is functional, and I'm not interested in having lots of vehicles. So yes, I'd like to get that out of there as soon as possible. We wouldn't be waiting for progress to start for months to pass. So we'll start a process now of making diligent efforts to maintain the property so there's no evidence that it doesn't have occupants living there all the time.
Okay. Yeah, because the code says that any vehicle that isn't licensed with a current license is a junk vehicle.
It probably is registered, but it might not be, and it does run, and I'm not interested in having too many vehicles, and right now I don't need that vehicle.
Okay. Oh, so the vehicle came with
I'd
the
like
property? Okay. Okay. Any questions?
Do you have an estimated more of a date on when you plan to?
I would be estimation of 3 months. I could be as few as 1 for everything, just totally night and day different. And I could stay in contact with my email person that I've emailed with and spoken to.
Okay. Any other questions?
What's the recommendation, Nick?
If he can have it done in 3 months and we can get everything on the outside cleaned up and there's communication, my ultimate goal is compliance. So,
Okay.
but that is your guys' decision. Maybe we could recommend
Extended
follow-up in,
in May, maybe?
whatever time frame you guys feel.
But doesn't it still need to be registered as vacant?
Per the resolution, anything, that doesn't have utilities or anything that is vacant past 30 days qualifies. It's up to, you guys to either uphold it to that or, to give an extension to get it into compliance.
Okay.
I would also activate the utilities and then begin contact in 30 days from now with this gentleman.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. I'd entertain a motion.
I motion to extend it
Okay, how long?
3 months, maybe, like
May?
May, yeah. See,
Okay,
as
so
long
to-
as he stays in contact with Nick and keeps him up to date on what's going on.
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Ms. Ferris,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
So just to quickly clarify, so the follow-up date for this property to be brought back in front of the board would be the May meeting, which is scheduled on May 15th of this calendar year.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
The next case before the board is SERB 2515 through 2516. It's up to you.
It's not changing on the screen.
Okay.
All right, apologize for the technical difficulties. The next case is in regards to a case that we had at our January meeting.
Correct?
Following the meeting and your recommendation, I believe the gentleman before us today reached out and said that one of the properties had sold at the time of the meeting that was not reflected on the auditor's website.
Okay.
That change is now reflected on the auditor's website. And he also stated that he is living in the other property. I did talk to him. This is in regards to the case curb 25-15 and 25-16. 25-15, 9550 Trafalgar Court has sold, and he says that he is occupying 8572 Neptune, which is curb 25-16. I asked that he bring like a utility bill or something just to say, that they are occupying it. The registered agent on file is Marion Brown, which I believe is his spouse.
Correct? Okay.
So like with that said, as long as, you guys are happy with what he says, my recommendation would be that you guys motion to retract your previous recommendations made on 11525, referencing curb 25-15 and curb 25-16. And motion to take no action on curb 2515, and as long as you're happy with what he says, motion to take no action on 2516 as well.
Mr. Brown, would you like to come talk to us?
Concerning the registration of the property in question, my wife and I live in the property, so it's not a property that we rent. It is listed under Zoe Rentals, of which my wife and I still own.
Okay.
It was a rental property, but we've retired and we moved into the property.
Okay. Did you do as Nick asked and bring something that shows that you're living there?
Yes, I have the Rumpke bill, the Duke bill, and the water bill. If you like
Any
to look
one of
at it.
those would be plenty information. So you are living there. The other property sold. Any questions?
No, I have
No,
none.
don't have any.
Did you verify the,
I have not. I'll bring it up to you.
Thank you.
okay. Looks good.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion if no one has any more questions.
I'll entertain a motion that no action be taken on curb 2515, and also no action on curb 2516.
I second that motion.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to see us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new home,
And your retirement.
especially your retirement.
All right, we'll move on to new business. Our first case under new business is SERB 2517. That's for the property at 9870 Pippin Road. Nick?
So, curb 25-17, this is for a vacant building maintenance license in regard to 9870 Pippin Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45231. The owner of record is Dubola Investment Holdings Incorporated. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT-25-5. My initial letter was sent on January 28th of 2025. Following that letter, the owner of the building, not the business, but the owner of the building, reached out. And I talked to him on the phone, and he kind of explained the situation there. I guess the family that owns the business is still actively renting the building from him, but they're not currently occupying it. It is a child care facility, like daycare. They own that business and one other daycare, and due to some things outside of their control, they had to take a break from the second business and only work on their other location. He had said that he was going to be here tonight, but I don't see anybody else present
Right.
at this time. It was reported vacant by another one of our code enforcement specialists on January 27th. During the day, it's on Pippin Road. We drive by there countless times every day. We've never seen a car. They have, kind of a, I guess if you want to call it a feather flag out front that's faded and deteriorating. Kind of help draw some attention to it. But he did say that they were not actively using it as the business at this time, but that they hope to in the next several months. But again, I was under the impression he was going to be here to kind of tell us the plan or what was going on. But you can see in your packet the information from the auditor, the Secretary of State, a copy of the letter that was sent, some of the email exchange where we did confirm the date and time of the meeting. And then you can see the picture that was taken on January 28th. You can see the flag out front and kind of the signage on the windows. In your other packet of pictures, you can see, just kind of what it looks like today. It's, very similar condition. That's all I have.
Okay.
So Brian is the owner, or?
He owns the building. He owns the land and the building. He does not own the the daycare business. He just leases the building to another business.
Do we have anything to verify that?
Verify what?
That it actually is leased?
No. No, just, his, phone call with me saying that, they are still actively paying him rent. And I believe there was, some medical issues or something that's kind of preventing him at this time. But he did state that they did want to continue, at least as of his last conversation with them.
But there's no indication of when.
I do not have any idea of when.
Did it look like the building was maintained as far as inside? Is there still furniture and all that in there? Or?
I can't see inside the building. I know the exterior of the building, it's in decent shape. There's some peeling paint and maybe a pothole in the parking lot, but nothing too severe.
There's not junk or anything
No.
hanging out. Okay. We have a motion?
What I'm wondering is, what's your recommendation?
He has only received, the one notice through mail. Following that notice, there was a phone call and an email exchange, so he was aware. But, at this time, I think I'd probably recommend that you guys motion to table it until the March meeting so that he can
That's what I was gonna
be
say.
here.
So a chance for him to come see us.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we'll, during that, we'll send out another notice and email, and, kind of at that point, we feel like we've done our due diligence.
Is it appropriate to contact the business owner and find out?
I don't have contact information for them unless it would be on one of their window paint signs.
Okay.
Ultimately, your recommendation is on his building and
Right.
his real estate.
Really doesn't have anything to do with the business.
Right.
Yeah, it's up to him to
Do something.
extend that with the business
Mm-hmm.
and then let us know. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we postpone a decision on this property until the March meeting.
Okay. And that'd be the March 19th meeting.
I second that motion.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. The next item of business is new business for rentals, and that's curb 2518 through 2521. Those are various addresses, and this floor is yours, Nick.
Let me catch up this
Okay.
PowerPoint real quick. So curb cases 25-18 through 2521, they all have the same, basic details and communication. The addresses are 2582 Retford Drive, 2750 Burnside Drive, 8435 Chestwood Drive, 10014 Glen Knoll Court. And then we have an owner of record of AUX Funding LLC. Their registered agent is Corporation Service Company. There is no OpenGov case number. Our initial letter on all of these was sent June 30th of 2023. The second letter was sent February 9th of 2024. The final letter was sent certified and standard mail on January 24th, 2025, giving today's meeting date. All mail was sent to the owner's address on the Hamilton County Auditor's website. The tax address did match that, the certified mail, the final mailing was also sent to the registered agent. We did get confirmation on the certified mail. So we believe it's a rental because the owner's address differs from the property address. They have multiple properties owned by the same owner. They're not receiving an owner occupancy tax credit on the Hamilton County Auditor. And they do have a completed Hamilton County Auditor rental registration. And then all of the properties are owned by a business entity. And you can see screenshot of the auditor's page, showing what the properties they have. Then there's a detailed property-specific auditor sheet for each of the referenced properties. Then copies of the letters, the certified mail tracking, and the delivery confirmations from that certified mail. There is also a copy of, I guess I skipped over it, my apologies. There's a copy of their rental registration and the Secretary of State showing who the registered agent is.
Okay.
From the county, right? From Hamilton County.
Showing who the registered agent of the LLC is, that is from the Secretary of State for Ohio. Hamilton County is going to be the tax records and the rental registration.
Okay. Who is the registered agent?
Corporation Service Company.
Okay. And where are they located? Is that in our literature?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, on the page that shows kind of the Secretary of State logo, and I believe it's Frank LaRue. Down that page,
I want to get back.
it should be page,
Oh, here. No.
Keep going.
it should be page 50 in your packet.
Got one more to go.
They are out of Columbus, Ohio.
I have another question. On one of these forms, it says Ox Funding LLC, foreign company. Does that have any bearing on the agent, or?
I could not answer that.
No, it just means that they were incorporated under another state's laws.
Okay. Any other questions?
On page 49, it says a agent is a Tom Moore on Dragon Way, which is in Cincinnati.
Yep, and that address at 5725 Dragon Way, I believe that is also what is listed as the owner address on the auditor. And I believe we sent mail there and it got returned.
I think, doesn't the auditor, isn't the owner in Nevada? The AUX funding?
Yes, I do believe we did send mail to that Dragon Way address as well.
So we don't know whether the agent is on Dragon Way or whether it's the firm
In Columbus.
in Columbus.
So Dragon Way, I was getting ahead of myself. Dragon Way, that address is also listed for the next curb case,
Okay.
for the next group as a different LLC.
Yeah.
And I believe that mail to that address was returned back. We'll have to look ahead there, but, yeah.
Nick,
You're saying that agent on Dragon Way is responsible for both, in other words, for 8 properties? Or was it a mistake that they were fastened in with the one owned by AUX Realty?
I mean, they're listed as an agent on Hamilton County's rental registration. Our responsibility is to notify the owner as reflected on their
Tax record.
tax records there. So that's where we would have sent all the mail.
So it would be the owner's responsibility to let this other person know if there was a reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Nick, are these properties occupied?
I believe so.
They occupied?
I know on quite a few of them, if you look through your day of photo packet,
Yeah.
a lot of them, there's some cars in the driveway. None of them looked vacant. Most of them, looked in pretty decent condition.
Okay.
Well, my concern is that curb 2518 through 21 and curb 2522 through 25 have the same address for contact, but they're under 2 different LLCs. And I noticed on the next group that we look at, in that paperwork, there was a, if I'm correct here, there was a state, Secretary of State agent registry information that was updated with an agent address 2 times since 22 and 24. So are they trying to say it's the same company but different?
Well, I think both companies are probably using a local to Cincinnati property management company who could be the Dragon Way. So and none of those rental registration forms have been filled out within the last 2 to 3 years. So we can't really put a lot of faith in that they've updated anything. But I do believe that the Dragon Way is probably just their local property management company. I know with all of our other rentals, we have quite a few property management companies that, kind of do the local leasing and maintenance for a significant amount of LLCs and, out-of-state landlords and things.
Well, it's my contention that regardless of all that, they haven't registered their rental property in Colerain Township.
Correct.
So my recommendation would be to register the properties, and they haven't done that within 7 days. And so I would proceed with, the fees and et cetera, recommend to trustee.
Could you make that a motion, please?
I make a,
Okay,
Go ahead.
I've got a question, though, before we do that. If we, declare that, yes, these are rental properties, which appears apparent, what do you do if they don't pay, if they continue to ignore your correspondence?
We assess the fees to their property taxes of each individual property.
Okay, so you do have a way to recover.
Yes. So after you guys make your recommendation, if they're not registered within a week, our next step is we prepare a resolution, which we just got a resolution created. Thank you for that, to where we can put it in front of the trustees and they vote on it. If they vote that, it is in fact the they uphold your recommendation, then we assess the fees to their property taxes, just similar to the vacants and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anything else?
So I make a motion, we recommend processing to excess fees for curb 25, 18 through 21, or rental registration.
I second that.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, the next case on the agenda is new business curb 2522 through 2525, and that's for RP2 HAM LLC. There's 4 properties on that.
Just like the last group of these, all of the basic details are going to be the same between each property. This is for curb 2522 through curb 2525. The addresses are 2596 Banning Road, 3265 Lapland Drive, 7314 Bolin Drive, and 3497 Redskin Drive. The owner of record is RP2 HAM LLC. Their registered agent is Corporation Service Company. There's no OpenGov case number. The initial letter was sent June 30th of 23. The second letter was sent February 9th of 2024. The final letters were sent certified and standard mail on January 23rd of 2025, giving today's meeting date. All mail was sent to the owner's address as shown on the Hamilton County Auditor's website. The tax address is the same. Mail was also sent to the registered agent. Certified mail was delivered to the registered agent. The mail sent to the owner was returned. Evidence indicating that it is a rental. The owner's address differs from the property address. They have multiple properties owned by the same owner. No owner occupancy tax credit. They do have some completed Hamilton County Auditor rental registrations. And all the properties are owned by a business entity. You can see the list from the auditor. Each individual auditor sheet for each property. You can see one example of one of their completed rental registrations. They have a couple different ones, all with the same information. Then you can see the LLC information with the registered agent from the Secretary of the State. Copies of the letters that have been sent. And then the certified mail results.
Okay. I make a motion that we declare the following properties as rentals. That's Serbs 2522 through 2525.
A second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes, thank you. Okay, our next meeting will be March 19th. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Thank you. Meeting's over at 6:40.